Hi, I want to welcome you back to the list building training. Today we're going to be talking about setup for profitable list building. The checklist of the essentials for anyone that wants to build a full-time income from their list efforts. We're also going to be talking about some really important things today, like our squeeze page and our ethical bribe or our free offer, some special offers. We got a lot to cover, so let's get started. What we're going to cover, we're going to be talking about the basic list building checklist. We're going to kind of go back over this a little bit really quick of what you need to get started with your list building. We're going to be talking about your ethical bribe, your free giveaway. Not only just talking about, we're going to be actually getting into creating that ethical bribe. Creating the ethical bribe private label rights, audio interviews, we're going to talk about e-newsletters, and creating your own content. This is going to be some really good training. We're also talking about the squeeze page structure. Your basic list building checklist, again, just a brief review of this. You're going to need a GoDaddy or Namecheap domain. There's several other places you can get your domain names. GoDaddy, Namecheap are a couple good ones. If you're going to be using GoDaddy, one thing that you might want to do when you go to checkout, do a Google search for GoDaddy promo codes, and you'll find some codes that you can use as you're checking out to put in there to save yourself some money on the domain. So make sure you look for Google promo codes, or GoDaddy promo codes, excuse me. Also, you're going to need HostGator, Bluehost for hosting. One of those two is my recommendation. I probably would go with HostGator first, but both of them are great hosting accounts. You're going to need some place basically to set up your squeeze page and your product pages and your product itself, so your site is seen. You're going to need a simple website, your squeeze page. We're going to be talking about that, building that. You're going to need your autoresponder. I recommended Aweber GetResponse. This is going to help you automate and set up your follow-up process. You're going to need that free offer, a free irresistible offer. You're going to need an HTML editor. We're going to be talking about editing and creating that squeeze page. So now we're going to be adding a few things into our checklist here. You're going to need an HTML editor and an FTP program. A couple of them that are free, really good to use, would be Composer.net. Go to Composer.net and download the free HTML editor. And also a good FTP program that's free is FileZilla. And you can go there and do a search for FileZilla, and you will find that you can download that for free as well. Those will be a good resources that you're going to be using. You're going to also, basically what we're going to be talking about is our free, continuing on with the checklist, you're going to have a free irresistible offer. We talked about that a little bit. We're going to really get into more detail. You're going to need a document processor and a PDF converter. So if you wanted to create an ebook or a special free report, my suggestions is to get Microsoft Word to use that. You can use OpenOffice Writer, which is an open source free one. You can go to openoffice.org and find that. You're going to need some slide presentations if you want to do for one of the things we're talking about. This is not something that's necessary, but it's something that I'm going to be talking about. So you need PowerPoint for the PC. Keynote for your Mac. If you want a free one, OpenOffice Impress, go to openoffice.org again and check out OpenOffice Impress. It'll get the job done for you. That'll be a great PowerPoint presentation, for any one of these. Interview tools. We're going to be talking about doing some interviews for your free irresistible offer. Something you're going to need is a free conference call line. So you can go to freeconferencecall.com and get a conference line that you're going to be able to get you and whoever you're interviewing on the line and a recording. You can use GoToMeeting for recording, and also if you wanted to step that farther, you can do GoToWebinar, where you can do a present webinar or your slides and stuff while you're doing an interview. You use Instant Teleseminar. It's a paid one. I think it's $67, I believe, a month. GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar is going to be on the expensive side, but worth every penny of it. I recommend that you get going with something like free conference call until you're starting to make money, because it is pretty expensive. Instant Teleseminar is another great one that you can use. It doesn't have I don't prefer it over GoToWebinar, but it'll get the job done for you. And I do like the recording to do things like Q&As or just interviews, things like that. You're going to need a USB headset. I recommend a USB headset. You're going to get better quality sound. You can use a desktop. You can, if you want to buy cheaper, just go to Walmart, get the USB headset that they have there, and that works just great. You get a nice, decent quality, but I recommend USB. A snowball mic, you can do a search for that if you want a desktop. It'll run you about $100. The USB headset's about $39, I believe. You're going to need a screen capture. My recommendation is going to be Camtasia Studio. It's expensive again, but worth every penny of it. You can use Jing. They have a free version which limits your when you're used for your screen capture. You can take some nice captures of your screen, but if you want to do like a video capture, like a slide, you only got like about 5 minutes of it. And so you can get the pro version, which will help you do a little bit more, but I recommend Camtasia. You can get Cam Studio. They do have a free version. I'm going to recommend that if you go that route, that you get the pro version. It's not that expensive, especially when you're considering Camtasia, the expense that you're going to be paying there. Do a search for any of these. I recommend Camtasia or Cam Studio Pro. If you want to go the cheaper route, do Cam Studio Pro. I believe it's like $29 for an upgrade. It might be a little bit more than that at this time, but do a check with it. It'll do what you need to do. Cam Studio, the free version, will do a pretty good job. It just doesn't have all the good editing and stuff afterwards. So I recommend Camtasia or Cam Studio Pro. All right, let's start talking about our ethical bribe first. Before we get going here, the ethical bribe, or your free irresistible offer. We're just going to kind of change the name up a little bit now. Instead of just calling it your irresistible offer, we're going to call it ethical bribe. Is essentially one of the main elements of your success. Now, the better your bait and the perceived value, the higher the conversion rate will be. So you need to have a really good offer here. You need to have high perceived value. And the better that you do at this, the higher conversion rate you're going to have. Your conversion rate, what I'm talking about, is when you get traffic to your squeeze page, when somebody shows up to your website and they see your offer, a conversion rate is actually somebody taking action, what you're asking them to do. In this case, we're asking for name and email, so they enter it and click submit, and they end up on your list. That's the conversion. You've converted them from just somebody that showed up to your plate or your page to somebody that's now on your list. You can convert somebody from a free offer to a paid, becoming a paid subscriber, so basically we're looking at having high quality perceived value to really get somebody to take a look at what you got. Build your ethical bribe offer with your end in mind. Don't just go out and create any old product. You need to research this. You need to have a good product funnel set up. Even if you don't have your funnel set up, you've got to know where you're going to take them. Have a back-end strategy in place on your mind, in paperwork. It doesn't all have to be created right now, but you need to know what's coming next. You've got to have something set up ready to offer that person to buy, because the instant they get onto your list, that's when they're saying, I'm interested in that you're offering them, and you want to be getting them to become a paid customer at that point, if at all possible. So build your ethical bribe offer with your end in mind. So start building that. A lot of times, if you figure out your whole back-end strategy where you want to lead them, it's like your free bribe is maybe a report. You take them into a training course, take them into some group coaching, and then maybe into one-on-one coaching, and then maybe some workshops offline or an event. You just use your imagination where you want to take them, but it's where you end up taking them. That if you start there and work backwards, that's a lot of times easier to come up with that ethical bribe that really fits that strategy. It needs to be positioned properly in the mind of the customer. They have got to understand this is something they want. If they don't see that, they're going to just go away from it. You've got to position it properly in the mind. Everything must make sense every step of the way when it comes to your back end or your product funnel. If it doesn't make sense at any point, that's where they're going to leave. Now, the two most important characteristics of an effective ethical bribe are: it must provide the solution to at least one of the problems of your target market. So you're going to have to do some research and know the problems. Your ethical bribe, to be effective, has to at least solve one problem of your target market. Use keywords that target market would be using to do their searches to help them find your offer. So you can use those keywords in the domain names, in the content, in your SEO of that to get them there, because they're going to be typing in certain keywords, and you need to, use Google Keyword Tool basically to find out what kind of keywords they're searching for, and to get them to your product. So use keywords to do that. Another thing, it must have a high enough perceived value that your visitor would be willing to pay for it with their very valuable name and email. And I say that because their name and email is something they hold dearly. They're not just going to give it out. And I also think that even your free offer ought to be something that they would be willing to pay for monetarily if it came right down to it. But they're going to look at it as like, wow, I would pay for this, and he's giving it to me free, so yeah, cool. But it's got to be worth them at least pulling out, if not their credit card, giving you that name and email, because that's what you're after. All right, we're going to be talking about creating your ethical bribe now. First, like I said, and I'm going to strive this over and over and over, do your research. Do niche research to find niche with buyers. You need to first make sure that you're in a niche that's got good quality buyers, people that are willing to pull out their credit card. They're already pulling out their credit cards and buying. You need to do product research to find out what kind of products are selling and get ideas that you can use for your own products. Now, why is this important to know what's already selling? Well, basically, this is going to help you know what's already out there and help you to find out where there holes are that you could fill with your product. So maybe you can create similar products, but remember, you need that unique selling proposition to identify yourself as being unique. So you're not going to want to create the same exact thing as your competition is creating. You're going to want to create maybe something similar to it, but something that complements your competition. So if you don't know what's your competition has, how can you complement what they have already? Or how can you fill those holes? How can you become unique? Your competition research, do that to find out ways to differentiate yourself from the competition. Very important. If you don't differentiate yourself, if you aren't unique, there's no reason that customers should come over to you instead of staying with who they already know, like, and trust. Research and know your target market. How can you create a giveaway that will be compelling enough for your target market to take action and opt into your list if you don't know who your target market is? You must know who your target market is, what their problems are, and what they are actively looking for information about and really want. You have got to do research. If a lot of this research has already been done for you, you can find out your competition has probably done all this research already, if they're any good. So you can already find out what they're buying out there, what kind of problems that they have, just by going to places like forums. You go and checking out what people are saying and what kind of problems they're having, and how they're being solved. You can go to things like GoDummies or dummies.com to find out what kind of things are going. They've done all the research. They know what people's problems are, and they've got material to help them with that. So the research has pretty much been done. You just need to go out and research the research. But make sure that you know your competition, what products are out there. Make sure the niche has buyers in it already, what kind of problems that they have, what they really are looking for. Create it yourself. Is one way that you can go about creating your ethical bribe. The drawbacks are that the cost of it, the time, and the know-how. A lot of people just really don't know how to go out and create their products. They're not good at product creation. It takes a lot of time, trust me. Just to do a nice training video is going to take you at least a couple hours to put the training PowerPoint together, if you know what you're already going to be adding to it. It's going to take a lot of time to record it, to edit. It takes time to put these programs together. There's some cost involved in it. You got to have all your softwares and things like that. So them are probably the drawbacks, but you really have to have a good product. Another way you can do is to outsource it. If you're interested in outsourcing your products to experienced freelancers, you can easily find a trustworthy professional from the following freelance marketplaces. You can go to guru.com, elance.com, scriptlance.com, and another place that I probably recommend would be the warriorforum.com, especially if in the internet marketing, make money online type niches and things like that. But even more so than that, they've got a good variety of people that are skilled at what they do. Any of these places would be a great place to outsource to. Or you can use private label rights products, where basically you have a product that's already created, the research has already been done, and you find a good private label rights product, and you basically rebrand it and make it unique. You add your own spin to it, add more value to it, put your name on it, and you've got a great product to be able to use. Now, what I really want you to understand is that I want you to become the expert in that niche. So just by grabbing a private label rights product and turn around and selling it, it's not what it's all about. Know what you're talking about. Become that go-to person, so that you're, one of these, a lot of the times we look at it as people are, being fake in the internet marketing world or whatever. Strive to not be one of those people. If you're going to be using private label rights product, get to become the expert and know that niche. Don't just throw something out there just to start making money with it. Make it unique, brand it for you, and really do a good job of putting it together. So again, that's going to take some time and stuff, but it's a great thing because the research has been done. It's a good product that's already selling out there, and it's something that saves you some time. The key to your free offer is doing the needed research. Decide what kind of product to create, whether it may be an ebook, a report, interview, audio, video, how-to tutorials, e-course. It's unlimited, what you can do. Then go on and focus on value. You need to focus on delivering value, that especially perceived value to your customers. But what I want you to think about is if the perceived value that they perceive it to be, you need to deliver that value. So what can you give away? We kind of just discussed this. Here's a little bit more in depth. Ebooks and reports are great. They're great lead generators because it's easy to lead them into the next step. Software products, video tutorials. You can do interviews. Video tutorials like we're talking about, just like we're talking about, doing right here. Interviews, where you get another expert on the line, especially if you're not an expert already. This is a great way to become the expert by association. Audio products and podcasts. You can do resource pages where basically you tell people what they need and give them the resources that they need to go check them out. Graphic packages and template packages like squeeze page packages, templates, download templates, sales page templates. You can do physical packages, training courses or CDs and DVDs where you give away a free DVD, to get somebody to opt in. That's an excellent way to get somebody on. Your time, whether it's free coaching, maybe a 30-minute phone consultation, freelancing services that you're offering, those are going to be a little bit more timely, time consuming on your parts, to be careful with that. But you can offer your time as, something to give away. All right, let's talk about some of these a little bit more specifically. The first one we want to talk about is an audio interview package. It's a simple form of product creation. Many people have done some very awesome interview packages and went out and basically gave them away, and then they basically turned around and did some more added to that packages and have done 6-7 figure launches on just interview packages. If done properly, this can be a great method of lead generation and making money online. So basically, it's a simple form of product creation. There's not a lot to it. It's putting together some questions, getting another expert, and doing the interview and recording it. Interviewing an expert in your niche is definitely one of the easiest and fastest ways of creating a high quality product. It's a fast way for beginners to get name recognition because you become the expert by association. You're seen as being there with the expert, especially if you do this where you're face-to-face and recorded interview. But even online, you're there, your voice is being heard with the expert, you're asking the question. You become the expert in the eyes of those that are hearing it as well. So you're expert by association. And it's a credibility builder. It's, you are starting, you become the expert, and it helps you to build your credibility. You've went out and you found the answers, through these interviews. You interviewed the experts, and you're providing now solutions to problems to those that are looking for the solutions. So you become the credible expert, and it helps you to establish authority in your niche. Now here's a checklist. You're going to need 3 to 5 experts in your targeted niche. I'm talking about over delivering every step of the way. So not just one interview, although a good interview would be great, and then leading it to the rest of the package. But even better yet, why not do an interview series of 3 to 5 experts in your targeted niche? Look for experts that have their own list. This is something that's important because you can leverage that. Their own products, because they're going to be credible experts. They're going to be seen as experts in their niche already if they have their own products. Proven results. Not just somebody that's got a bunch of products and stuff. You want to be able to prove that they have results, because in these interviews you want to come across as these guys being credible. You want to be able to show that they get results, and they need star power. So the people that are out there really making things happen, that people are standing up and taking notice of. You want these qualities in your people that you're interviewing. List of questions that will extract the information needed to solve your audience's problem. So you don't want closed-end questions. You want open-end questions that give the person that you're interviewing a chance to really expand on the answer that you're looking for. So you're not going to say things like, a closed one would be like, you're from Wisconsin, right? And they're like, what are they supposed to say? Well, yes, no. That's kind of a closed end. It doesn't leave a lot of room for the person being interviewed to expand at it. You want to have an opened end, question where you're asking. There's some great packages out there. You can learn how to do interviews properly, but you need a list of questions that will extract the information needed to solve your audience problems. Recording device. You can use Skype, or you can get a free conference line from like Instant Teleseminar or freeconferencingcall.com. You can, either one of those places would be great. Skype would be great. You just need a way that both of you can be on the line at the same time and get the recording. You need a phone or a USB microphone. A headset or a desktop will work, but you're going to need a phone to be able to access like your free conferencing, Instant Teleseminar, these things. But a lot of times you can use a microphone right through your system. And I recommend a USB microphone. But make sure you're going to have something that you can communicate with. All right, next we're going to be talking about an e-newsletter or an e-report. Now, this is kind of a unique way that a lot of people don't teach about of creating a free product. The work's basically been done for you as far as the content. What you're going to do is you're going to find 10 really good niche-specific articles that provide a solution to your target audience problem. So you've identified the problems, now you're looking for the solution. You're going to go to some place like ezinearticles.com or goarticles.com, wherever, to find some articles. You're basically going to find 10 really good articles that provide a solution to your specific niche. You want them to be very targeted, some really good, well-written articles. What you're going to do is you're going to grab 10 articles, combine these articles together in a Word document to create a report or e-newsletter and convert into PDF to give away to as your ethical bribe. Now you're like, now aren't I stealing somebody else's articles? You're taking those articles and doing exactly what the article writer wants you to do, and that's to take them and use them, because there's something that you have to do when you're using somebody else's information that they provided. You're going to use article directories such as Ezine Articles to find good articles. Now here's what you have to remember, and I want to, talking about some things that you have to do. First of all, you have got to give credit to the author of the article. So whoever wrote that article, you need to give them credit in your report. You need to leave the resource boxes intact in the article. Don't remove from the article. If you do that, you're stealing somebody else's work. You need to leave that resource box. It's going to It's going to basically direct that person to their website. They're going to be able to list build, but you know, that's great. What you're doing here, this is an easy way for you just to get started and get some content. And you're providing a solution to be able to build your credibility up. So basically you have to leave that resource box that's going to be talking about who the author is, and leave any links that are in that article that might lead back to their site. So you're also going to want to provide a link back to the article directory, so a link back to like ezine articles or whatever. You know, you need to provide that in your report. And look for well-known, credible authors or experts in your niche. That's very important. You want that star power once again. So basically you're taking these articles, you're putting them in a report, in a Word document, and then you're creating a PDF out of that, and then you're giving it away. You're looking for the best content that you can. You're leaving the resource boxes in there, so you're being ethical, providing a link to the article directory, and you're going to be looking for well-known, credible authors or experts in your niche. This is a great way to create a free ethical bribe. Here's your e-report checklist. You're going to need 10 well-targeted, niche-specific, problem-solving, well-written articles. You're going to need a document processor. You can use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Word for the Mac, or Open Office Writer. So openoffice.org again has a nice one just like Microsoft Word. If you just a free route to go, it works very good. I would recommend that. PDF converter, Microsoft Word comes with one. So does Microsoft Word for the Mac, and so does the Open Office has a PDF converter that comes with it. These would be great things for you to use, that is going to help you to get these articles and get this report created. So basically you put it into the Word document, and then you're going to save it as a PDF, and then upload that to your server and to send out. I want to talk about simple video training now. In my opinion, one of the best ethical bribes you can create is a simple recorded PowerPoint presentation, much like you're seeing right now, that visually trains the visitor how to solve their problem they're having. You're able to connect with them on a little bit different level here. You're talking one-on-one. You're teaching them something. You're establishing your credibility, showing them that you are the expert. You are the teacher right now. You know, just like you're listening to me teach to you. You know, if you can relate to me a little bit better, you can see the knowledge that I have, and this is a great way to create a free ethical bribe. Improve communication effectiveness. Improve audience perception of the presenter, so it builds credibility, because you can see that they know what they're talking about. You can hear it. You can hear the excitement in their voice. You can hear maybe when they're stumbling around or maybe not quite as clear on something that they're teaching. Presentation with visual aids is more persuasive. So here's your training checklist, your video training checklist. First, you're going to have slide presentations. So research your topic for content that solves a problem. You can get a PowerPoint for PC, Keynote for Mac, and you can also use Open Office Impress, which is a free resource that you can get to at openoffice.org as well. It's Open Office Impress, and it's a very good free tool that you can use to create your slide presentations. I prefer PowerPoint, especially PowerPoint 2010. It is an amazing product. That's what we're using here today, and it's got some great features to it. You're going to need a USB microphone, a headset or desktop. You're going to be able to need to plug into your system and record your voice doing the training. You're going to need a screen capture or an editing software so you can record your training, so record your screen. I recommend again Camtasia. Cam Studio is free. Cam Studio Pro, if you're not going to go with Camtasia, I would go with Cam Studio Pro. It's inexpensive and better than the free version. You can go with Jing. They've got free and a paid version. Again, Jing is going to be, especially the free one, you're going to be very limited in what you can do. I prefer Camtasia over them. You can use Snagit, which is a really good low-cost tool that you can use. I recommend that you check that one out if you're not going with either the Cam Studio Pro or Camtasia, which is my recommendation. All right, another way you can create your free ethical bribe is to use private label rights. This is an amazing way if you do it properly. Too many people just go out and grab something and give it away. They have no understanding with it, no idea what their follows up after that. They're just interested in building a list and they don't do it properly. Private label rights is a time saver. Who wouldn't want more time in their day? Writing ebooks or recording training videos, even though very worth it, can take a ton of time. That time could be better spent elsewhere. Wouldn't it be great, just to be able to have rights to this very video, something you can already see good quality training. The work's already been done. The PowerPoint's been created. It's been recorded. It's ready to go for you. So it's great time savers. It's a money saver. It takes time and it takes money to create these programs. Research and product creation is already done. A lot of people don't understand how to do the research. The products are out there. Most people do a good job. They already know that those products are going to serve the target audience. PLR reports, ebooks, video tutorials, video training courses all make great giveaways for internet marketers. In some cases, the people who receive it may have a copy already, but it's really not a concern since you're giving it away. So maybe that once they opt in for it, they find out that they already had a copy of it, but that's okay because you're going to get them, coming up. You're going to have to do a little bit more proving that, your value. But, even if somebody else used that PLR, that you did and they've already got it, no big deal for the most part. Because you're going to hopefully added some more value to that and not just send it out as is. So you've added your own uniqueness. So maybe there's something else that that person hasn't got already out of that package. And besides, they're getting it free anyway, so they can't complain that that they had to really spend anything for it. Repackage and rebrand as your own. Basically, you repackage it, rebrand it, and you send it out as your own. My recommendation is you get to know everything about the niche that you are getting these PLR products from, so you can come across as the good, credible expert afterwards, so that you can get a good follow-up series going from them. This just helps you to really get going, though. It's also a great way to create your follow-up products and stuff. But think about adding extra value to that and making it unique, over top of anybody else that's got, maybe the same PLR rights. All right, we're going to be talking about the squeeze page now. We talked about our ethical bribe. Now we need to have a place to basically get that person to notice your ethical bribe and to get them to put their name and email in. And this is going to be your squeeze page. The common squeeze page is most often just a simple web page with the sole purpose, and I say that again, the sole purpose of capturing leads. That's it. Or building a list and nothing else. Its sole purpose is to get that person on your list, to get their name and email. A well-performing squeeze page should give your website visitor no other options besides getting your free offer in exchange for name and email. A tightly focused squeeze page is the most effective way to capture your leads and leads information. And I'm talking tightly focused so that when somebody shows up to it, they know that that was meant for them and not where they're trying to decide whether or not they should, came across something that they weren't really expecting or whatever. It needs to be tightly focused on your niche and their problems. To make profits from your subscribers, you need to have a back-end marketing strategy in place. We'll talk about that more later on, but now let's talk about how a good squeeze page is really structured. First of all, you need to know your funnel. In order to really create a good squeeze page, you need to know your product funnel. Have an entire system planned out. I didn't say you had to have it all created, but have it planned out before you even create your squeeze page. Don't just put up a squeeze page. You want to have a clear idea of what you intend to offer subscribers later on. Your theme, the topic, and your consistency of what you have in place. One of the things that you want to especially have is that next step, what they're going to get after that free offer. You want to have that in place already, ready to go for them, because this is going to be the most important time to connect with that visitor and try to get them to buy for that first time, because they're showing their interest, and there's no better time than when they're showing interest in what you have. Know the funnel your subscriber will take and what you will lead them to next. So you want to have everything set in place and know where you're taking that that prospect. All right, the layout and design is very important of a squeeze page. Keep it simple, clean, and free of clutter. Your main focus is on visitor filling out the opt-in form like we just discussed, generated by your autoresponder account, and ultimately this box needs to be highlighted. So you want to be able to draw attention to your box so that when that visitor shows up, they're going to know, okay, he's after my name and email. I understand that. Now let's see what his offer is, and make it so it's easy to find and clear for them to notice what they're supposed to do. Don't create a squeeze page that is graphic intensive, slow loading, which is, if you got big graphics on there, it's going to load slower. You got to get that thing popped up there in their mind and start getting them drawing through your copy that's there. Don't make it complicated and confusing. Keep it simple, clean, and free of clutter. Eliminate external links or navigation menus so that the only option visitors have is to subscribe to your mailing list. Give people too many options and they'll choose none. You don't want anything else except for that subscriber box. Any other links on there, there's going to be one other link we'll be talking about here in a minute that you're going to want to include there, but you don't want to give them a bunch of choices that they can go off and look at and stuff, because they might not ever come back. If you do have a link, make sure it opens up in a new window that they can close out and still be on your sales or your squeeze page, but don't give them options. I'm just going to say that right up front. Don't do it. Take a very different approach to constructing your squeeze page as you would with a traditional sales page. A lot of times, you're looking at your sales page, as this long copy that you're taking them through all of these different emotions and stuff, and then getting to the bottom and buying. You're not going to want to do that. Your squeeze page is going to be something completely different. It's going to be simple, clean, and free of clutter like we've been talking about. Your most important content should always be above the fold, which basically a good way to describe that is everything that you're looking at on the screen right now would be considered above the fold. So when somebody shows up to your website, everything that they see without scrolling anywhere is what is considered above the fold. And all your most important content should be above that, especially your opt-in box. All right, let's talk about the structure a little bit more. We're going to be talking about the headline that grabs your visitor's attention and outlines the #1 benefit of your irresistible offer. Your headline needs to focus on the problem your customers or your leads are having, and focus on the #1 benefit that's going to solve that. That's where you really want to take that. And there's some different things we're going to be talking about the headline in just a minute. You're going to need to have bullet points, 3 to 4 of them. Don't sit there and have 10, 12 different bullet points. 3 or 4 of the main benefits of your irresistible free product. Think, what's in it for me when you're talking about the benefits and the bullet points, because that's what they're looking for. They don't care nothing about you yet. They want to know what's in it for me if I decide to opt in. So focus your headline on the main benefit, and then the bullet points are going to be the 3 or 4 of the next main benefits of your product. So you're going to have to know your product, to be able to get the benefits out of it. Very specific, strong call to action. We'll be talking about that in just a second. A subscriber box above the fold, so when they show up to your page, they see it right away. A privacy policy, your name and contact information. I told you about one link that you're going to want to put there, and that's going to be to your privacy policy. Make sure that it opens up in a new window so that they can click off it if they decide to look at it and read it. But a privacy policy does something in the mind of your customer. We'll talk about that. A product image for perceived value, and that's all I'm going to really recommend as far as graphics. You can do header graphics, footer graphics, all that kind of thing, but basically a product image. So if you got like an ebook, maybe an ebook cover or a DVD cover or something, but that's it, just to give perceived value of something they're actually going to get. When creating our squeeze page, we want to use the A.I.D.Formula. Basically, this system is usually applicable to sales copy, but it also applies to squeeze pages, and will make sure that you cover all the bases when you create your copy for your squeeze page. The system is, like I just said, is usually for sales copy, but we're going to be it's very applicable to your squeeze pages as well. It's basically attention, interest, desire, and action. And the attention is basically your squeeze page needs to instantly grab attention and keep them focused long enough to collect their information. You capture attention with dynamic headlines, and you keep their attention with tightly written bullet points and action-oriented copy. Your interest, you got to keep their interest. Once you've got their attention, you need to get them interested in what you're basically offering to them. You do this by highlighting the benefits of joining your list, and in demonstrating that you understand their position. This means that you need to know your market so that you can identify or create problems and provide solutions and answers once they join your list. The D is for desire. You need to tap into their deepest desires, which again is coming from the research that you're doing. And again, understanding and evaluating your market is key to getting this right. When you know what they want most, what they're passionate about, what their fears, their concerns, their problems they have, you can now create ad copy for your squeeze page that generates maximum conversions, that you can really hit on these things that they're having the problems with. And A is action. Your squeeze page needs to motivate your visitor to taking action, specifically becoming a confirmed member basically of your list. You do this by injecting a call to action that instructs your readers exactly, precisely what they need to do. You need to be concise about it. What they must do in order to take advantage of your offer. So it's like, here's this amazing offer, and here's what you got to do to get it. Make sure you're over-delivering on your value. Be clear, direct, honest, and upfront. Your squeeze page should also have enough of a description of what you're offering so that the visitors have a clear understanding of what to expect when they become an active subscriber. And you never want to offer something that you can't deliver. So if you're making all these promises, it better deliver exactly what you're saying. The golden rule number one that I look at is offer them something and over-deliver. If you under-deliver, you've lost any opportunity that you have to turn that subscriber into a lifelong customer, and that's what you're ultimately looking for. You're not looking for somebody to sit on your list for free. You're looking to turn that subscriber into a long-time paying customer. So make sure you focus on value, and if you follow this rule, it's going to help you basically create a really nice converting squeeze page. All right, let's talk about the headline again. Your squeeze page needs to give a clear and concise message the moment someone shows up and it starts with a headline. So the moment somebody shows up to your squeeze page, they need to realize that it is relevant to them. It has to be clear, concise as far as the message goes. So the moment somebody shows up, they know that this is something that's important to them and that it relates to what's going on in their own life. The key to a good headline is put the website visitor first. Think of them first. Headline must address them or address their specific needs, and don't go on about how you can do this or that. Visitors are not interested in whatsoever in hearing about you. They want to hear about how their specific problem will be solved or their needs and wants will be met. And this is where the research, again, I highlight the research, is required to know what their specific problems are, to know what their specific needs and wants are so that you can focus on them instead of you. Focus on the main benefit of your offer. Answer the questions, what's in it for me? It must be relevant to your visitor. All right, your headline has to have an amazing hook. It has to have something, just like you're out catching fish. You need to have a hook. You can't just throw in the bait or you're not going to be able to hook them in. You need to not only have the bait, but you got to have a good hook to actually hook them in so you can reel them in. Formulate a hook by researching exactly what your customer would want if you delivered the perfect product. And that's what what you're going to be focused on. Your hook needs to arouse your audience burning curiosity and force them to listen. When you catch a fish on that, you're forcing them to come into you. So that's what you want to do. Your hook is your unique selling proposition, your slant, your uniqueness, which no one else has. Without the hook, there's not going to be a catch. It's just like, throwing bait into the fish. Without a hook on, that bait on the end of a hook, you're not going to hook them. Don't be afraid to sell the magic pill. A lot of people promise, the magic button, the magic pill. If you can deliver on that promise, you go ahead and sell it to them, but don't mislead. If you can't deliver on that, that's actually the magic pill, then don't go there. But if you can deliver on it, go there. All right, here's an example of a headline, and we're going to look at this example a little bit closer now to see if we can find the hook and what's, what about this headline here. And this is probably not the greatest headline. We just kind of put it in here for an example so that we can look at, but it's a pretty decent one. Basically it said it's time for you to get results. Everybody wants results. Now, the headline says, earn while you learn. Create instant cash, instant fame, and instant lists using a powerful and secret system based on decades of proven educational methods. A real business we set up with you that you, when used correctly, has potential to earn you between $3,000 to $5,000 per month online. Now, would the hook be a powerful and secret system? Probably not, because there's a lot of people that said I've got the most powerful and secret system out there and stuff. So is the hook maybe instant cash, instant fame, instant list? Probably not. So the hooks of this headline would be, there's actually a couple of them in there. One of them would be earn while you learn. Now, why would this be a hook? First of all, you've researched and you know what the problems are facing. So one of them, it would be earn while you learn. We'll discuss it a little bit more here in a second. And based on decades of proven educational methods. Now, here's the problem that they solved. Basically, you've researched and you notice your target marketing is frustrated from lack of results and taking too long to learn. They don't got time to sit there and go through all of this endless learning and stuff. They need results right now so that they can get, got money coming in and start focusing on some more training and stuff. So those are the problems. And now, does our hook, help solve those problems, or reel them in to get them interested? Earn while you learn. You're telling them you're going to get them results, while they're learning. That's something that a lot of people, don't really get when they buy a product. They never get results. They just continue on through the learning process. And the other one is based on decades of proven education. You're basically saying that you just want a product that you're going to be able to learn from, because we've based it on the way that has been proven learning methods over all these years and stuff. So you're giving them a solution to their problems right there. Those are the hooks of this, and those are some pretty good hooks. The benefits of this are going to be starting to get results now. That is the benefit, is to get results. So you're focusing in on the main problem, and that benefit is that what you're offering them is they can get cash, credibility, list building while going through the learning process of how to set up their business that will deliver even bigger results. So you're giving them the benefits all right there as well. Of what your product is going to be able to deliver them, and they're going to be able to get this while they're learning using proven educational methods. All right, let's talk about our bullet point tips, because these are going to be where your next benefits come in. Benefits are not features. We're not talking features. Features are factual information. Benefits are the results of the of the features that you have. So if we go back here, to this last slide, these aren't just features. We're showing them the benefits, what they're going to get: the instant cash, instant fame, instant lists using using the methods that we're teaching them. That's going to be their benefits. They're going to earn while they're learning. All right, so basically we're going to be focusing on benefits, and not the features of our product. Keep your bullet points clean, clear, concise, and symmetrical if possible, meaning try to ensure that all your bullet points are like on one line each or two line each, etc. So if we look at our, we're up here where we're talking about the bullet, we've got them on two lines. So your next bullet point, if you wanted to keep that on two lines, and your next one down would be two lines or three lines or one line, whatever. So try to keep them symmetrical, but make them nice and clean and clear, right to the point. It's easier on the reader's eyes, and therefore easier for the reader to stay focused, and you want to keep them focused through it. You want them to be able to read it very easily. Why should they make room for you? That's your benefits are basically focused on. Why should they make room for you? Remember, your visitors haven't yet experienced the value that you're delivering. Identifying the problem is not enough. You have to show the reader that there is a solution and that you are the one that has it. Bullet point tips express a clear benefit promise to the visitor. Bullets capture attention and encourage the scanning reader to remain focused and help them go forward with your call to action. Use curiosity and fascination. Make bullet points so compelling and benefit driven that the reader simply cannot help but take the required action to discover the answer. Readers just plain and simply put like bullet points. They focus on them. Even on your sales copy, they're going to look for bullet points because they know that those are the benefits of the products, and that's what they're interested in. They let the readers know exactly what they need to know. Here's some examples of bullet points. You notice these aren't all going to go together, but you notice here we're talking about the symmetrical, 2 lines each, or they could have been 1 or 3. But here's this one is the ethical way to write effortless emails that force your subscribers to love you and buy your stuff, even if you're starting from scratch. Another one, be led by the hand and finally get results. The step-by-step video blueprint to making rapid cash within days with all the fluff and crap stripped away. Another one, why some patients are given favored status in hospitals, almost preferred treatment. This little known fact could save your life or the life of loved ones. And I really like that last one because we're looking at it as it's like why some patients get favored status in the hospital and almost preferred treatment. So basically, we're telling them that some people get this. It starts getting that curiosity aroused. It's like, what are they talking about? I'm not getting preferred. Or you can identify with it and say, man, I remember everybody else kept going ahead of me. Why did they get that treatment? And then you're talking about this little known fact could save your life or the life of your loved one. So you're hitting on some pretty emotional things going on. Clear and concise call to action. This is very important. You got to have a clear and concise call to action. The final step in creating a squeeze page is getting the visitor to take action. Identifying your market, determining their problems, and letting them know you have the solution is not enough. If they don't put that name and email in, you've failed. You've got to get them to take the action. You have to make them act, and you need to create a sense of urgency of why they need to be acting right now. So if you can create any kind of sense of urgency in the call to action, that's all the better. Tell them more than once and do so clearly. Their purpose is to get what you are offering, and your purpose is to get their information. And that's strictly all it is to it, but your call to action and your whole squeeze page. If you're giving them something of quality, then you're doing them a favor by letting them know exactly how to get it. And that's the kind of thinking you need to start thinking. If you've got something of quality and you know that it's going to help them, it's your responsibility and you're doing them a favor by letting them know exactly how to get it. Tell the visitor exactly what action you want them to take. Make it very clear and concise. Let them know they don't have to put up with their problems for another day, that you can solve them right now by just them taking the action. Keep the choices simple. You either want them to sign up or just leave. Be very specific. Don't give them a lot of opportunities. Either sign up, give me that name and email, or just leave. Let them know what happens next when they sign up. So this helps with your conversion. If they know what's going to happen, once they put that name and email in, if you can clearly tell them what's going to be happening as soon as they do that, that's going to help them be at ease and help them understand what's about to take place. Give a sense of urgency if possible. It must be a legitimate urgency. If it's not legitimate, don't use it. You have to make sure that your sense of urgency is something that's legit. All right, here's a call to action example. Your competition has been running over top of you for far too long. It's time to put a stop to it right now. Simply enter your first name and primary email in the provided form to the right and click the submit button, and your ebook will be sent right to you. Take action right now. Rise up and be seen before your competition gets any further ahead. Now we're going to break this down, and we're kind of got it color coordinated here to help us see what we're talking about. We're going to start with a gray. It says to identify the problem and let them know they don't have to put up with it anymore. Let's take a look and see if we've done that. Your competition has been running over top of you, so there's kind of you've identified the problem, and far too long. It's time to put a stop to it right now. So basically, you're letting them know the problem and that they don't have to put it up with it anymore, that we're going to put a stop to it right now. The orange, be clear and concise. Tell them exactly what you want them to do and what you want them to provide. Let's see if we've done that. Simply enter your first name and primary email. That's pretty specific. Not only we're just telling them an email, we're talking about their primary email, which puts in their mind that they've got to enter their best one to make sure that they get this product. So you could have said, simply enter your first name and primary email to ensure that you get this product, if you wanted to go a little bit farther. But you're being very clear and concise what they need to do, and then you're telling them, what to do, basically, and click the submit button. So you're telling them exactly what you want them to do and what you want them to provide. The next one with the blue, where to take the action you are asking them to take. In the provided form to the right. So you're going to be telling them if it's down below, to the left, to the right, up above, wherever it is, you tell them specifically where to look. So if it's off to the right, you say, look over to the right. There it is. That's where I want you to put your name and your primary email, and the button below, and click. What happens next after they take desired action in the black? You're telling them that as soon as they do this, their ebook will be sent right to them. I mean, you could tell them that they're going to be taken to a special offer if that's what you wanted to, but you're basically giving them a direction of what's going to happen next. So you're assuring them that once they do this, their ebook's on its way. It's going to be sent right there. They're not going through, maybe you're going to tell them they're not going to go through this huge upsell, downsell process, that it's coming right to them. Our red is when to take the action and create a sense of urgency if at all possible. And let's see if we've done that. It says take action right now. We're telling them don't wait, do it right now. Is there a sense of urgency? Rise up and be seen before your competition gets any further ahead. Basically, you're seeing they need to do it now because your competition is getting ahead of you. They're basically walking all over to you, and you need to do this right now. Don't wait. The longer you wait, the more farther ahead your competition is going to be. So do it right now. So yes, we've created the action, what action, when to take it, and the sense of urgency. Subscriber box. This is your opt-in form. This is that code that we were talking about that you're going to get from AWeber when you create your web forms. You're going to get a code that you're going to be placing on your squeeze page, and we'll be showing you how to do that. So we're not going to get into that today, but opt-in form, it's not a squeeze page if people don't have a way to take action. If you're just giving them a headline, list of bullet points, and no way for them to put their name and email or anything, it's not a squeeze page. You've squeezed nothing out of them. You need to have it above the fold. Put the opt-in form in a prominent location. People seeing your page should be able to make a decision without having to scroll down. If by some chance you're going to use a long squeeze page, include a place for them to enter their information in more than one place on the page. Place one opt-in form above the fold and the other below. And if you don't want to use two opt-in forms, you can provide a link that links in. When they click on it, it takes them right back up to the one at top. But just keep them from scrolling as much as possible. Keep it short and sweet. Ask for your visitor's first name and primary email. Only ask for the information you need. If you need their phone number, if you need their mailing address, if it's a physical product, fine, ask for it. But if you only need their first name and their email, that's all you should be asking for if that gets the job done. Privacy policy. From the moment your visitor lands on your squeeze page, you want them to recognize your brand as credible and trusted source for quality information, and as one that will do everything possible to protect their information and value their subscription. A lot of people are afraid that when they put their name and email in, that you're going to start selling their name and email off to other people, and that people that they didn't opt in for. They're opting in for you, and they want to know that you're trusting, that they can trust you with the information they're giving them. It gives visitors peace of mind, and that's one of the only things that a privacy policy is there for. It's for them to read if they want, but it gives them a peace of mind just seeing that link that says privacy policy. The truth is, most people won't actually read it at all. Just the fact that it is there is enough for most people. But if they're going to read it, you want it to basically spell out the following. You want to spell out the data that you're going to be collecting, how you're going to use that data, how you're going to protect it, and who has access to it and under what conditions. So if somebody else is going to have access to that, say you've got leads that you're turning over to a sales staff that's going to start contacting them. They still work for you at your company, that you've authorized with that, but let them know that in that somebody could be calling them, that they are associated with you. So many times I hear people, it's like, hey, so and so called me and they said they were associated with you. Is that the case? That's not a very good way to go about things. You want to make sure that it's spelled out, so that yes, people understand exactly who's going to be contacting them. Make sure your links open up in a new window, so if they by some chance click on that link to check it out, that when they close it out, they're still on their sales on your squeeze page, because remember, they haven't put in their name and email, chances are, yet, and that's what you're after. All right, here's a squeeze page example. Basically, we've got our all the elements here. We'll kind of go through them quickly. We've got our benefit-laden, attention-grabbing headline and subheadline. We've got an image of our product to help with perceived value, so it kind of puts an image in their mind that yes, I'm going to receive something. We've got their 3 to 4 good benefits of what's in it for the visitor. We've got a clear, concise call to action. We're telling them what to do, and these aren't the best on this page here, but we're just kind of showing you how to lay it out. We've got the above the fold opt-in form and the submit button, so they clearly can see where they go. Everything that you're seeing right here, it would be on the screen when they first come to your site. It's all above the fold. They can see where the opt-in, and you can see we've got it highlighted in the dotted, broken dotted lines there, so they see that that's where it is. Where they put their name and email is a little slightly different colored, so they have no, they know exactly where they're going to go. And we also have peace of mind with privacy policy link down there, or just letting them know that that their information is safe with you. That is basically what you need to have on your squeeze page. You don't see a bunch of graphics that are blinking and flashing and all of that are going to keep your page from loading fast. You've got just the basics of what you need to get the job done. You can save time with pre-made squeeze pages. Stop stressing over squeeze pages. So many people don't do them because they don't understand how to do them, what needs to be done. If you still don't get it after this kind of training, stop stressing over it. You can save yourself a lot of time by outsourcing the development of a custom squeeze page, or by purchasing a ready-made template that you can quickly customize to fit your own. So basically, like that last squeeze page that we just showed you, you could use that as a template to basically get set up and then add your own content into it. A couple resources worth checking out if you're interested in basically purchasing ready-made templates. You can go to squeezepages.com and get several different templates. Also, you can find designers on the Warrior Forum that will also create unique squeeze page templates for you that represent your niche, market, and prospective target audience. You basically just give them the information that you've researched and have them create the templates for you. I want to thank you for joining us. Now it's time for you to take action and get your own squeeze page set up and start giving away your free irresistible offer and begin your own list building. Now, in case you don't know how to go about getting this set up, all the technical things, we're going to be providing a training coming up next that's going to basically show you the technical aspects of setting the squeeze page and your free offers up, like your download pages and things like that to deliver your product. So join us on this next training. It's going to be some more great training. Again, I thank you for joining us.